All right, man. So you said that basically when we peel back all the layers, the black woman is God. Before,
Correct.
I'm just repeating back what you said to let you know that I understood exactly what you said. You said, as you know, before we've adopted the thinking and ideologies of God, how we know it now, before that, or even if we take it away, we would see that the black woman is actually truly God. That's what you said, right? Okay.
Correct.
Now, where does the father, my question for you is, where does the man come in? Where does the father or the man come into this picture? The black man or any man?
All right. Now, in regards to the father is a social construct that has nothing to do with nature. Now, in regards to the father is a social construct that has nothing to do with nature. So somebody made up this whole father aspect.
All right, so now let's see if this is really a social construct of being a father. So this is Genesis 35. You're going to start at verse 22. In relevant part, it says, now the sons of Jacob were 12. But if being a father is a social construct, how could a man have 12 sons? The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. So Jacob got with this woman Leah, they got it popping and made the firstborn Reuben. But if being a father is a social construct, then this is just it. Nobody can be born and have a father. He made Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. Then with another woman, the sons of Rachel. This is still Jacob's children, Joseph and Benjamin. And with another woman, Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid. So it was, where's Rachel? Rachel right here, her handmaid. Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid. Leah's the first one where he had his firstborn with, okay? Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob which were born to him. So we see here that a man has the ability to have sons, and these sons have the ability to have a father, which they really don't even have a say-so in the matter. But how is this a social construct? Then we're going to come down a little bit. So Jacob, he even has a father. It says in verse 27, Jacob came unto Isaac his father. But how could he have a father if it's a social construct? The foolishness. And if you notice, the focus is on these sons, because they're going to grow up and have sons, and they're going to be fathers and have tribes named after them. But that's another story. I'm dealing with the so-called social construct being asserted. It's documented that even his existence shows that a male got with a female, got it popping in the same fashion, and he's the son of somebody, and that somebody's the father of him. I don't see how that's a social construct. It's just nature, the same nature that he's denying based upon this false social construct nonsense he came up with. The foolishness, right? So right here, this is Numbers 1 and 18. Okay, Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. This is the purpose. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. By the social construct, their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward. Okay, this is like, it's basically where we get the social construct of a census. That's a social construct, but a father is nature. You can't declare a pedigree or your basically nationality or tribe after a female, because that's not a seed. I can even go into the so-called New Testament and show the Christ, even with Christ, so-called Jesus, as some people would know it, that man had a father, and so forth and so on. Contrary to a lot of religious and popular beliefs, he came through the seed of David. Seed of David, not some female social construct delusion that's created modern day. Let's get back to it.
Man is something totally different. You grow into the man, but we go through stages in life to get to a man. So in regards to me, I had to go from an embryo, you know what I'm saying, to an infant, to a toddler, teenager, young adult, and then I graduated into a man. So when we're talking about those two terms, you know, you got to go to get to a man. And then when you're talking about a father, there's nowhere that there's a father in nature. So a father would be unnatural. That's just something to compete with the woman. Something to compete with the woman. Something to compete with the woman.
No. The only social construct here is this gender war nonsense that he was probably raised under in a single mother household.
Okay, so you're saying that the father is unnatural, but the woman is natural.
Correct.
Do I have that correct? And you're saying the reason why, you really didn't give a reason why the father would be unnatural. So what's your reasoning that the father is unnatural? Explain, give me some logic, however you could,
right.
You know,
the logic was nature. I said that there was not a father found in nature. There's nowhere in nature that you can find a father. You have a male. So at the end of the day, there's no father. Father is a social construct. That's something to put itself into existence to be opposite of the mother. But there's no such thing really as a father.
Can you explain how the father is a social construct?
It's a social construct due to the fact is you're talking about a label that's being placed on a man being a father. Can you be a father at 12 years old?
I mean, I think I had when I was 12 years old, man. So
okay,
you could be a father when you're 12 years old. You could have definitely planted your seed in something. Yes. Let's just go with, do you think there's any differences between men and women?
It's kind of like you're trying to be condescending to the point where you have no comprehension. You don't have no comprehension in what I'm saying to you in a response to the point where you can't fathom it. What do you mean? No. I don't understand what you. Then you go to the next question after you sit there and tell me that you didn't understand shit. Like
no, not understand. Like,
we gonna turn this into. Is this some type of entertainment or something? I'm just asking you. I thought it was about the black woman as God. I don't know you. Well, I didn't research you. I just came over here because. Okay. So what are we doing?
We'll speak in detail. What we're doing is having a discussion, man to man. Right? Mm-hmm. You just said that the man is a social construct.
I said the father is. You're saying that the man is. Right.
Okay,
let's just. Two things. You asked me about the man and the father.
You said, well, that, because the father is, not from nature. And I want you to explain, how isn't the father not from nature? That's what I want you to do. I want you to explain how it's a social construct and it's not from nature. Because here's what I'll tell you. Nothing grows unless a seed is planted. Nothing grows on this planet unless a seed is planted. And every man holds the seed in them. Every man holds the seed of life form. Life form in us. In your sack, if you have enough testosterone, but I know in my sack, I got at least 80 million of them little niggas moving around in there. You know what I'm saying? Most men do with a good amount of testosterone. So therefore we have seed, and the life form starts there. You won't have a plant if you don't plant a seed first. So you saying that a father is a social construct is a lie, is what I'm saying. Get to dispute the point that the father doesn't hold the seed. So we plant the seed in a woman, and then life grows from that. Women bring about life. The life form is actually in a man. So explain to me again how the father is a social construct when the father holds the seed and a woman holds nothing but eggs. She's waiting for a seed. You sound, you don't make sense, man. Let me hear you.
You haven't given me a chance to make sense. You're wrong. And you're wrong in the way to sit there and say that the sperm is a seed. How could you have seeds running up and through your body? That makes no sense. A seed is not a fucking tadpole with a tail. That's not a seed. So in regards to it, you're wrong. Now, if you're talking about an apple seed or orange seed, listen, an avocado seed or whatever the case may be, now we can get into the comparison on how the woman gives the man the whole body, the construct, the brain, the lungs, the face, the skin. She's creating a child within a womb. So she gives him the penis too. Did you forget that she gave him the sperm? So
can you explain in a scientific way, from a biological way, how doesn't a man hold the seed in the life form? You're just speaking, but I need you to peel back the layer to things and give facts. This podcast is called No Fugazi. So if I'm speaking, I'm always going to speak with facts. So here's a fact for you. The woman doesn't determine the sex of the baby. She has an X chromosome. The man holds the X and the Y chromosome, right? So here's science, right? So when a man has sex with a woman, he dictates the sex of the baby. So you just said, where do you get a penis from? Where do you get this from? Where do you get that from? You get that from the man, since the man determines the sex of the baby. Do you get it? Women only hold the X chromosome, men hold the X and a Y. That's scientifically facts that proves that what you just said is nonsense, and men do dictate the sex of the baby. So if he's dictating the sex of the baby, let's peel the layer back even further. That means that the man actually dictates how many men are going to be in this world, how many women are going to be in this world. The list goes on and on. Your father dictated that you would have a beard. Your father dictated that you would have a beard and be a man, from what I could see. You get what I'm saying? Your mother didn't determine that, so you should be thanking your father, because your father truly created you.
All right, so I made this just for this episode, right? I'm just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna go to one of my favorite books, Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 16. It says, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven images. Well, let's see how this applies, right? The similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. That's how this is relevant to this episode, because this guy is idolizing a female, which is his mother. We shouldn't idolize anything, anybody, or anything, even if it is your father, because your father or mother, male or female, still have the ability to lie to you. Pastors do it all the time. There's powers in this earth versus the powers above this earth that created this earth, or the nature that this clown really doesn't have a good grasp on. I don't say clown to be demeaning, but this is really foolish. I equate a clown to a fool. It is what it is. And even speaking of nature, we can go back to the creation of nature and this male and female. Genesis 1, starting at verse 27, says, so God created man in his own image. Let's get a deeper look. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So this man that you see is male and female. Woman is just the womb of man, woman. Okay. The next verse. Again, we're just dealing with the documented, recorded nature and the human beings created from that. Okay. We have male and female, day 6. Okay. And God blessed them, who? The male and female that he literally just talked about creating. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. This is replenishing the earth, right? So again, he's telling male and female to be fruitful and multiply. When you multiply, that male and female becomes a mother and father. I don't see how one exclusively is just a social construct, or just because in one particular case there was only one, that doesn't make that one God, because they are creations of God. Again, God will not lie. There's no need for God. God is going to keep it real with you. But I see mother and fathers, male and female, auntie, uncle, cousin, whatever, lie and be despicable to one another. This is why they should not be worshiped, or in his case, idolized. You're making something that's equal to you a graven image. And then especially the biased position. It was male and female created he, them, and told them to be fruitful and multiply. It's two. I don't see it is one's created as a social construct to go again. It's a social construct that there is beef within the house. That's a social construct. But there's nothing that's a social construct of this being fruitful and multiplying and having a child. You're that child's father and mother. Yes, father and mother. And that is their child. Child is not a social construct. Father is not a social construct. Mother, well, we live in a society today is not nature, but being a father is natural. Social constructs are social constructs. Gender wars today are social constructs. He needs to learn the difference.
Anything for that, man? Scientifically, can you dispute what I said?
You sound uneducated. Like, to the point where this is so level of surface, to the point.
God dang, man.
How could you sit here? I'm just asking you, like, how could you sit here and tell me that my father gave me what all males are females before they turn into a male based off the decision of the mother? Every male can look at their actual scrotum sac and see a line from the bottom of their scrotum sac to the tip of their penis. All male. That means you were sold up. Your testicles are nothing but your ovaries. Your penis is nothing but an elongated clitoris. At the end of the day, you're nothing but an inside-out female. I'm sorry that this man has never been told that, and he doesn't understand that he was made in the likeness and the image of his mother. I'm sorry that before anybody ever taught him anything, his mother was there. Your mother is literally the only thing that you know in life.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy thinks that he is to tell another grown man who he's known throughout his life.
You don't even know if that's your father, but your mother knows if it's your father or not. You know everything about your mother because that's where you came from. That's your first home. That's your first origin. The black woman has always been considered God, even before the patriarch took over and started to actually make a male God. But it was never a male that was being God. It was always the woman. In Islam, it was the woman. In the Catholic Church, it was the woman. In ancient Egypt, it was the woman. In Samaria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, it was the woman. Phoenicia was the woman. Chaldea was the woman.
And all of these degenerate nations and groups fell in on themselves because of the delusion that they all had.
But if he doesn't know that, that means he's not reading. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to respond to the man. Even to the point where if a woman is making up your whole total makeup and she's using her menstrual blood to do it within her womb, that's why you women don't bleed for 9 months. You literally coagulate a child in your womb. What does the man have to do with it? Is the man shooting blood in you, woman? Or is he literally giving you his DNA via his sperm? So when you're actually making this baby in your womb, you're using your blood. That's why you don't bleed for 9 months. When that baby comes out, that is a product of its mother. So the baby literally develops through life. As the baby develops through life, we get to puberty. That's when our body chemically starts to actually make the sperm in our body. But it came from our mother. Everything comes from your mother. You get it from your mother. Your mother is your God. Your father is not your God. The sperm in his body comes from his mother. Where do you think we got our body from? You didn't make this. You don't have nothing to do with your face. You don't have nothing to do with your head and none of that. Your mama gave that to you. She birthed you. How could you sit there and say that she's not your God? Your mother was God before you was taught about God. Somebody had to tell you about God in order for you to believe them. Now in your mind, that's God.
When you believe in magic.
But what if your mother knew she was God? She would teach you about God. How can a man be a God when he cannot produce life? A man cannot sustain life. He does not have breast milk.
Got you. You done or are you still going?
No, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm respectful. So if you want to go and respond, you can go.
Okay. So, I mean, everything you said was just nonsense. It didn't make any sense. It didn't correlate to anything.
Which part?
And
Which
1
part?
plus
Which
1
part?
didn't add up.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't have any rebuttal to it. You just started speaking nonsense. But let me ask you a question.
I have to force myself to speak because you won't allow me to.
Does 1
You're
plus
asking
1
me
equal
another
2?
question.
Does 1 plus 1 equal 2?
No, one and one come together. They merge. That's 1, right?
When you believe in magic.
Think about
Okay,
it, right?
God dang.
When
so
1 and 1 come together,
proves
they
my
merge,
point.
right?
The nigga don't
Right.
know what 1 plus
and
1 equals.
merge, right?
He said that 1
and 1
merges.
put it together, they merge. 1, right?
Oh,
if I come
God
together
dang.
with a woman, don't I go into that woman? Don't me and
All
that
right.
woman go into each other? Now we won. I got my dick. You know, I am 1. At the end of the day, what
So
you mean?
you got a
1 plus
watch
1
on your
equals
left
2?
hand. You got a watch on your left hand. If you
Right.
put another watch on your left hand, will you have 1 watches or 2 watch?
They're on the same hand. It's just 1 watch. If they put together, if you leave, they merge together.
When you believe in magic.
You see what I'm talking about? You want me to have
If you
2?
put the watch on a different hand, would you have 2 watches on you?
I don't know. If you take a man wig off, then would you be bald headed? I don't know, bro. We all got questions that they ask us. I mean, shit. I mean, what you want to do? I don't
What?
know, bro. Is
curious.
we on this build? Are we on this build or what? What we gonna do?
This what we're gonna do, because I'm actually curious. Because the last people I had on here, I had 4 other people that had your same points of view, right? And now let's change up the dialogue a little bit, because I'm curious of knowing. I believe that you let me know if you don't believe that 1 plus 1 equals 2, but let me know if this makes sense to you, and see if we can come to agreement on something. That's what I want to get here. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. Would you say that that's true?
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. I want to know this because I spoke with, you're the 5th person I had on the podcast now that believe that the black woman is God, right? So since we know that, and you just confirmed that influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior, you have this, your mind frame of how you think. I want to know what influenced you to think this way.
It's knowing versus belief. Everybody believes in God. I know God. You see what I'm saying? Knowing is being able to have logic, evidence, and reason. You know it, just like your past experiences. I know my mother. So before I learned how to talk, before I learned how to walk, before I had taught about my ABCs, before I was taught about anything, my mother was there. Somebody had to teach me, influence me, get me to think about a God that they wanted me to think about. But prior to that, my mother was my creator. So when you look at it, my mother was a black woman, and all black women are the manifestation of Mother Nature. I don't give a fuck about a book in which you read, bro. Go to nature and look at it. That is the supreme map of things.
Clarence,
everything in nature is telling you.
Clarence, I seen that you
don't have to stop me, bro. You don't have to stop me.
No. Someone came in the chat. Clarence, I see you come in here. Give it 2 seconds. I'll add you in after I have this discussion with him.
I get 30 seconds to speak, like every single time.
It's a podcast, and I had someone trying to join the live stream.
You're intimidated, bro.
No, I had someone trying to join the live stream.
You don't want to know. You do this for content.
Intimidated?
At the end of the year, you're intimidated. It's got to be.
Come on,
if I can
man.
sit there and listen to you and you can't listen to me.
I mean, listen,
you told
bro,
us about a pregnant male rat. You told us the science
I
brought about a pregnant male
in
rat.
person. You could come here in person. No one's intimidated, bro. No one's.
You gotta be.
No
It's
one
gotta
feels
be
like
something.
that.
Then
You could
why
have this
won't you let
discussion
me
in
speak the
person.
whole
The same way I'm
podcast?
conveying myself with you over here, it'll be
The
in
whole
person. And actually,
podcast,
it'll be
bro.
more
Listen,
intense.
y'all.
We said that influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. You think that the black woman is God. I want to know what influenced you.
Looking for God.
Okay? Explain, elaborate. What did you
God
find that made you really think that the black woman is God?
My mother
Like
was in my face the whole time. She was in my face the whole time. I didn't realize that was God.
So that's the problem. He just kind of told on himself that he really is not as smart as he might feel or think that he is, right? This is what's in front of me, so it's gotta be God. So if I'm rolling down the street over here, Figueroa, and I see some hoes, well, that's a female. It's God. Like, you gotta be the dumbest. You cannot literally. I can expect that from a child, but as a grown man, if you still have that thinking as you did as a child, then something's seriously wrong with you.
So they told me that my mother, everything was outside of me. They told me that everything else was my mother. Everything else is God but your mother. And then you look at why they oppress every woman in religion. Christianity, their God says it's okay to rape a woman, defile a woman. Islam, they say it's okay to rape a woman. Allah is literally a lot. So they literally define everything.
I seriously don't know how this guy made it this far in life without hurting himself or somebody else being this easily just manipulated. Allah means Allah. No, you're taking two words that sound the same. Allah just means God, or Allahayim or Elohim. It's the same root. It just means God. I know people refer to it as a name. It's a title, not a name. But that's just like if I was to take two things and remix them because they sound close. Like, you have the mental of a child and you don't realize it. Let's keep cooking.
Women, it's all about women oppression, and for women not to realize that they are the true creators. That's why the patriarch took over. The patriarch literally took over the matriarch. The matriarch had always been in rulership. That's why they studied the goddess Hathor. They literally was with the queen of heaven in Jeremiah 44. They spoke about the goddess everywhere. Tuarat was the first deity that was ever worshipped. See, like I said, I get 30 seconds.
Oh, no,
so
you explained
really
it. Now I have another question for you.
I'm saying I wasn't done.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Let me know how long I'll get. I mean, you just stopped me. You're going to keep doing this, so go ahead.
I mean, it's
you
okay. Explained all the way down to how it went.
Bro. Go ahead, bro.
So, and also, I'll just give you the rules of the podcast. So get used to it. So guess what? This is called order, right? Men create order. This is my platform, so there's a hierarchy to things. It's my rules, so if I set the rules and you follow the rules, right? When you have your own podcast and you invite me on, you set the rules and I follow those rules. Life is in hierarchy. So I have a question for you.
So
you just said that the matriarchy. I have a question for you. Listen, you just said that
the question for me.
You just said that the matriarchy was taken over by the patriarchy. How can if the matriarchy is natural, right? It's a natural way of life. It's nature, right? You said the father doesn't come from nature, but the woman does come from nature. If that's the case, if the woman was first, you say that the woman is first. My question is, if the woman came first and you think the black woman is God, why is it that she's always being taken over by a man? Wouldn't you think? You just said that the patriarchy always takes over the matriarchy.
I'll let you finish so I can speak. Go ahead.
That's my question. You just said that the patriarchy always takes over the matriarchy. How can you say and even think logically that the woman came first if she's not strong enough to defend for herself? Answer it now.
Oh, I'll calm down a little bit. Now, let me answer. In regards to the patriarchy taking over the matriarchy, it had nothing to do with strength. You have to understand that's brute strength. So what it was the son turned against his mother. The son literally turned against his mother. So instead of being a protector, the son became the predator. And then Christianity and all of these other religions were created to teach men that they were higher than women. How do you think the oppression started, woman? They needed religious context to literally turn your man against you. You can look throughout all the religions.
Did you ever think that the man is just stronger than a woman? Do you ever just think that the man is just stronger than a woman and more superior than a woman?
He's a bitch, nigga. Did
you ever think that? Say that to my face, man. You welcome here. I have you on. I have you on.
Where you at,
I have you on, bro.
Smash the shit out your
Listen, actually, here's what I'll do for you, because I've been waiting for someone like you.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'll send you out here. I'll send you out here, right? I'll send you out here.
What you diddy now?
I'll pay for your ticket to come out here. I'll pay for your ticket to come out here, and we can do this debate live in person. And I guarantee you won't have that energy in person. I guarantee you it. I had another man talk crazy just like you, but in person, he wasn't speaking that crazy. It was a entirely different story.
Bro, you can tell everybody in the room can see you a bitch, man. Everybody in the room can see you a little hoe, bro.
Now you're making ad hominems. No one made ad hominems about you. This nigga looking like a fake Drake over here, man. This nigga looking sweet as cheese. How you over here trying to act hard when you get your eyebrows done every day? This nigga looking sweet. This nigga sweet as pie with that little chain on. Nigga squinching his eyes. Nigga, what's in your eye? Why you keep squinching your eyes like that? Trying to have the light skin look. Yeah. Come on, bro. Calm down with all that, nigga. Let's have a regular discussion. You making that Hamid him a text. I ain't make none on you. You made him first. So we can either finish this debate.
Nigga, it's through the whole white boy, bro.
This guy said a white boy. Just because you can't articulate yourself. Just because you can't articulate yourself.
What the fuck is you talking about?
Doesn't mean that I'm a white boy because I can. That don't mean that, nigga. Chat is clowning you right now. But anyways, bro, here's what I'm saying, man. Everything that you said is all false because the root of it, the cause of it is false. The man is superior than a woman. Why doesn't a matriarchy?
If the matriarchy will always be in existence. It's just been hijacked by the patriarchy. You women still produce us.
How
you just chill for a minute? Can you give me a little bit so I can talk to people to get them to understand why I'm coming from?
No. It ain't going like that. That isn't how it goes, bro. Because you're not answering questions, bro.
I'm tired of your questions. Just let me speak.
Listen, man, if you're tired of the questions, then you can hop off the stream, bro.
Though.
You're just speaking nonsense
you get
right
frustrated. Like I said, you're intimidated. For you not to let me talk, but I'm over here.
Nigga, you look like a broke Drake, nigga. Who intimidated
I know, bro. You said that. You said that already.
No one said broke. That was different. Yeah, okay. See, you can't listen. You don't have good active listening skills, buddy.
Shit,
you don't have good active listening skills. Low IQ.
You got a man wig on.
Low IQ, man.
And you talking about Drake, man.
This nigga said a man wig, bro. My hair is just long, man. It's just
okay, well, line that shit up. Mind your shit up. Mind your shit up. You see that shit?
Look at your headline, buddy.
You sitting there. Look at it. It's lined up, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with your shit?
Your junk leaning overhead, bro.
All right, bro. All right.
Your junk tilted.
That's what we get.
Anyways, so
intimidation.
Like I said, there's a hierarchy. You started the ad hominems. I didn't start the ad hominems.
You don't want me to speak.
But here's what it is.
Intimidated, but you think 1 + 1 is 1. And you thought your mother is God because you grew up in a single mother household, which is a social construct, but he's intimidated by you.
It's a hierarchy to things. So if you don't want to follow the orders, you can hop off the stream or I'll kick you off the stream.
No, I don't understand. Man, you're a bitch anyway, nigga. You didn't want to do nothing anyway. You got your ass murdered over here. You got your ass murdered over here.
I mean, you believe that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2.
You call it whatever.
And
you
I already said we could have this live stream in person. And I trust you in person. You wouldn't have this energy. I'll literally fly you out.
I'll beat the fuck out you, man. Y'all beat the fuck out you, bro. I'm not no
you out here, bro.
I'm not your little boy. I'm not your little toy.
I'll bring you out here.
You're talking.
I'll bring you out here.
You're just talking. We're talking.
Do you take my offer? I'll actually offer you. So this is what men do. This is what men do. Because let's see if you're really man of your word. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. Here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can have this debate in person. I'll put it on my word. If you really want to come out here, I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. How about that? Let's do it. If you really feeling that, if you really feeling froggy, nigga, leap. I'll send you out here. I'll put that on my word. And we got hundreds of people in here. No. You want to approve to that offer? If not, then shut up, nigga, and pay attention to the hierarchy. Here's the rules. So I'm going to ask you questions and then you're going to listen and you're going to answer these questions because you're just talking just to talk. Do you understand? So,
hey, you're a
question
scary
here.
Little boy. You're a scary little boy,
cool, man.
That's
you
all
still talking,
you're
bro.
A scary little boy,
question
man.
here.
I'm from Chicago, puss ass nigga. You talking about flying out a nigga and fighting. You talking about flying me out.
Yeah, he the one that's scared, but you still didn't accept the offer. While you talking about him being scared, though. And he's inviting you to a friendly match. I'll call it that. But he's the one that's scared.
And trying to box.
Listen,
and have a
my
debate.
Finances is good. My finances is good. I've been waiting for somebody like you that's talking spicy. This is what I do.
I told you you's a bitch.
This is what I do, man.
You's a bitch. You don't do shit. You can tell you a white boy. You a little white boy that likes to play. You like to do this little jokey shit.
Listen, homie had to go. He just talking to talk. He talking silly. Chat, this is what we happen when you talk to feminine men and emotional men.
So if you don't want to be labeled as a social construct, don't have any kids because a father is just that. That's all I have for now, as it is written, and I'm out.